Hello, Kiss fans. Got another one for you. All right, so we all know Bruce Kulick, and obviously, he was a longtime guitar player with Kiss, and he's got this wonderful new interview on ultimateclassicrock.com. All right, so it's a long interview, but here's the interesting part, man. All right, so here's what he has to say. Quote, sometimes I refer to earlier Kiss as a little bit of a garage band because they weren't trying to be overly finessed. This is why all the Seattle bands gravitated to early Kiss. They didn't necessarily relate to my era because it was more polished. By the time Bob Ezrin walked in for Destroyer, he walked around with a whistle. He was contributing lots of things. Nobody in Kiss wrote the Detroit Rock City solo. That was an Ezrin idea. It's orchestrated. It's brilliant. It's like a trumpet, but nobody could play it better than those guys the way they performed it. So anyone that considers Kiss simple or easy music to play, they're idiots. This stuff is hard. It's just that the band never got credit that way, and it always should. Gene never wants to brag about how good he is on bass and what a tremendous musician he actually is. That's part of his shtick, I believe. But I don't buy it for a second. All right, end quote. You know, a lot of people are going to make fun of this, but I think, Bruce Kulick, man, he's a very professional musician. He's one of those dudes, like kind of like a session dude. You could call him up, and he could probably play anything. And he just chooses to, play with bands like Kiss and Grand Funk Railroad and shit like that. But which, good for him. But I actually think Bruce has a point here, man. I think that I don't know. It seems like nowadays, man, like simplicity, swagger, groove in music is kind of frowned upon. It's more about what are like kids talking about now, like caveman riffs. They like cramming a lot of notes and shit too. It's a lot of like rock based music nowadays that you hear that gets semi popular is like kind of overly technical bullshit metal that has no melody, no real song structure, and people really get off on it, man. And I think that with the rise of virginity, like increasing among young males, it makes sense to me that Kiss is not as popular with like the under 35 crowd, because you kind of got to have a little bit of that rock and roll swagger. You got to have some of that rock and roll confidence to like get laid and stuff like that. And a lot of Kiss music is about lyrically about like getting laid. So I think there's some sort of psychological or possibly sociological connection, some sort of cultural thing there. But a lot of people, man, they just don't have a groovy bone in their body, man. When they do listen to more simplistic rock, they want to hear, I'm staring at my shoes, crying, and singing about how I got dumped and shit. Playing my little acoustic guitar at the party, like the Animal House douchebag or whatever. Except the music's like worse now. But I do think that Kiss were good songwriters, man. I mean, yeah, they've got a lot of filler and stuff, but they kind of mastered the little 3-chord thing, and and it's what Bruce said about the Seattle bands is correct, man. Because you look at all these like critically acclaimed, like influential bands, like Mudhoney, Soundgarden, Melvins, Nirvana. Like Melvins weren't from Seattle, I guess, but you know what I mean. I mean, they're talked about in the same interviews and shit as those other bands. But, all those guys were into Kiss. And we do know that the punk rock band, the Minutemen, they were heavily influenced by the early Kiss stuff. According to Mike Watt's own words, Red Cross is another band, another punk band that was influenced by Kiss. And obviously, countless metal bands, and the list goes on and on. But I do think that if the guys in Kiss had like died in a plane crash in 1975, like before, maybe not before Alive, but before Destroyer, because I do think Alive is like kind of like that perfect like live document of their sound. Even though, yes, I know it's not live, but no 70s live album is live. It's just how it is, man. But I think that if the guys in Kiss had died in like a plane crash, or maybe one of them overdosed, or just they faded away before Destroyer came out, and kind of, because Destroyer kind of kick-started that huge like merch machine. I feel like, you know, and it got crazier with each record, you know, kind of reaching its apex with like the Love Gun, Alive 2, Solo Album era with all the fucking lunchboxes and dolls and all the shit like that, you know. But I think that if Kiss had disappeared before they turned into somewhat of a parody of themselves, I think that they would be more critically held in a higher esteem. You know, it's easy to forget, man. You know, Robert Christgau, the famous or infamous critic who hates hard rock, hates heavy metal, hates prog rock. He really only likes, you know, punk rock and like 60s San Francisco psychedelic shit. You know, he's got a somewhat limited taste in music, you know, but that's his whole thing. You know, he's a curmudgeon. But he actually gave some good reviews to like some of the early Kiss records, man, because he thought that there's no shit. They reminded him of the Rolling Stones, you know. So I was like, you know, which honestly, I like Kiss more than the Stones, like overall. You know, I know that's sacrilegious, but let me know what you think, man, because yeah, this is something I've thought about before. The fact that I don't know, you know, Kiss this has happened to me before, where I've played Kiss at some sort of event where, like, let's say, like, you know, you're drinking beer with your friends, and it's like kind of a Van Halen type of night, or someone's playing Thin Lizzy. You know, it was some bands that are maybe cooler or a bit more hip to enjoy, but they're still hard rock, you know, Black Sabbath, stuff like that. And you know, I might have played Parasite or something like that, you know, but I remember, like, people dug it, but it was like, you know, once everyone finds out it's Kiss, it's like, oh, you mean the makeup band? You mean the, you know, the guy with the tongue who's on TV and on reality TV every day? And, you know, I mean, Kiss is just kind of uncool to a lot of people, man. So I understand why they're written off, but, you know, to me, it's all part of the absurd package, you know. So, oh, goddamn, I talked for 7 fucking minutes about this shit, man. Well, let me know in the comments what you think, and have a great day.